Hi Aries, welcome to your August 2019 relationship reading. It's Raina here. Actually, somebody thought I was saying it's raining here. And if you can hear something in the background, like a hissing sound, that's not my phone acting up. It's actually locusts. And they always come out right before dusk in late summer. And I have the windows closed, so that just shows how loud they are. I wonder how many there are. There's probably like a gazillion to make that loud a noise with windows closed. But I kind of like that sound. I don't really want it on my recordings, but other than that, I think it's great. So that's what's happening. I think they want some action from some other locusts. Okay, what's this one? I always got to be careful about... Wow, I thought I got the Six of Wands and it didn't look like that. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. Oh, maybe I was thinking the Four of Wands. Okay. Okay, so we have here... I'm trying to think astrologically. Oh, yeah. Now I'm totally getting it because... okay. So the heart of the matter is the Justice card. And, we can say the Justice card is all about fairness. But there can be like a legal case that is pending. And I did get the card that's associated with Cancer. This is the childhood card, Six of Cups. And so actually your fourth house is Cancer, home and family house. And so there may be something going on with your family, but I was even thinking of an estate situation. And unless this has more to do with, because this is supposed to be for relationships that are like romantic relationships. I never thought about relationship readings with just family members and things like that. I wonder if I should include that in these types of readings, if that would be more, I don't know, accurate or inclusive, if I were to just say about all kinds of relationships. But in any case, looking at it from the perspective of a spouse, this can be that you are, thinking about getting divorced and maybe have even started researching or contacting a lawyer. Now, these types of relationship readings that I do are meant for people that are in troubled marriages and the equivalent, or people who are not currently with somebody, but they are wanting to get back with somebody. So it's not anybody who wants to start a new relationship altogether. I felt like this month I wanted to do a relationship reading, and just focus on those types of people. So Justice. Now, the other thing about Justice is you may just be in a relationship where you feel that it's unfair, where there are two different sets of rules and you feel like you have to operate with a different set of rules than your partner. And sometimes, this happens because, like, for instance, in my case, I'm a woman, he's a man, he's 11 years older than I am, and he just is very overprotective. It's a Venus and Scorpio thing. But we're not talking about something like that. Where, so if he goes out and he comes home at 1 o'clock in the morning and he doesn't like check in, that's okay. But if I were to do that, then he might think differently. I don't think that is the same as if you are treated as if you're doing something wrong, and he does the same thing, or she does. I don't want to just make it gender specific, but they do the same thing, and it's like okay for them. It almost seems to me in that particular scenario like the narcissist who has their own special set of rules. In the past position, we have the Hermit card. I can't get over this one. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. I can't get over this particular illustration of the Hermit. But you know, and I love the actual artwork, but in terms of what it represents for the Hermit card, I almost see like this person who's kind of tentative, who is like kind of going into their shell. But a hermit is really somebody, they're not just hiding from the world because they're shy. It's because they are insecure. It's because they are seeking that enlightenment. You may have been separated from this person and haven't yet made the official move to divorce. Or, you know, even if you're not legally married, you haven't made the official move to move everything out, okay? In some cases, you may have kids, and that might be the thing. As a matter of fact, I'll just mention this card now. This is what's challenging. The Six of Cups connects to Cancer. I think this is a great depiction because of the roots. This can be childhood. I personally think that this can be saying some of you may have children with this person, so you're reluctant to leave and break up the family. Sometimes if there, excuse me, if there was some kind of abandonment that you experienced as a child, even if you are in a troubled relationship now, you may do everything you can to avoid leaving that person because you feel like it's better than nothing. And you're thinking back to when whatever happened to you. And so you're really reacting, you're not acting. You're kind of stuck in the past. This is not typical for Aries. Aries people tend to be very, you know, bold, and, you know, you're like forward thinking, forward moving. But if you have personal planets in Pisces in particular, or even Taurus, but I think especially Pisces because it's a water sign, or if you have a moon in Cancer, that may make you more inclined to cling to the past. And that is not really going to be helpful for you if there is some kind of an issue that you need to kind of transcend. And if you need to make that move, you know. A lot of times Aries is very can-do, very dynamic, and so very energetic and willing to do whatever it takes. But you may have one area of your life where you're kind of reticent, where you're kind of like unsure of yourself. And this may be in the relationship sector. And if you do, it's all good. It doesn't mean, oh wow, something's wrong. It just means that you have to work on that area to be more confident. And again, I think a lot of times I just had the word uproot come into my mind because I was looking at that tree. If you were uprooted somehow and you didn't have like a very stable childhood, even if your parents stayed together, maybe you were an army brat and you moved around a lot, or you didn't have much money, so you were always moving to a new place. There's all kinds of reasons why people they feel that lack of stability. And then when they get older, it's really important for them to buy a house and to raise a family or to have a partner. But then they're afraid of losing it, losing that person. So you can't be, I guess I would say for those people that you have to heal. One thing, speaking of healing, is that Chiron is now in your sign since recently. And so you may be more sensitive than normal. And this may affect your relationships too, Aries. So there you go. The higher message is the Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. I actually associate the Knight of Wands with Aries energy. It's actually supposed to be Sagittarius. And the Knight of Wands as an energy itself is somebody that's afraid of commitment, somebody who is sometimes, kind of a chaotic individual. And this can come in different shapes and sizes. For, like somebody who turns your life upside down and turns everybody's life upside down because they have not calmed down. There's something in them that's kind of like full of drama or things like that. This kind of person may seem like a challenge. Aries loves a challenge. Aries loves to be kept on the edge of their seat. If relationships get too familiar to you, to like routine, you may be getting bored. So somebody who can keep you guessing, that person you may pick over somebody who's a real solid citizen. And this can be saying this is your pattern and you need to stop it. And maybe this is what you saw in your home. Maybe your father was like this. Maybe, like I said before, you didn't have a lot of stability growing up. And so stability is scary to you because it is unfamiliar. People who are stable are scary to you. Maybe you even feel like they're judging you. And when, I always am interested how people react to things. And people react very strongly when women say that they like bad boys. So many people are so disdainful of a woman for saying that. And these same women will say that a man who treats them well is like their brother. And that's how they see them. And yes, to me, that's very messed up. But I totally understand where they're coming from, because they just somehow got conditioned to be intrigued by or feel comfortable around people that are not, that have commitment issues, that are very fickle and changeable and all those things. And if something like a job is very, seems like it's very stable for them, they may even self-sabotage, because I think all fire signs like freedom, but the confusion is understanding the difference between freedom and going without. Somebody can give you your freedom because they're never even there to begin with. And the other thing too is drama versus passion. Passion is a feeling of living life at a very high level where you're really living life with intention and things are meaningful to you, and you're feeling that meaning. But drama is when it's like one crisis after the other. And it's like putting out a fire and then another fire crops up. So these are the kind of things that you have to sort out when you're dealing with a person that you might leave. And maybe this is a pattern for you. What is coming in, or the advice, is the World card. This is the final card of the Major Arcana. So this can be about closure, closing one chapter of your life, or that one chapter is closing in your life. And you know, you're a cardinal sign, so the eclipses in this cycle are something that affects you because they're cardinal signs too, Cancer and Capricorn. So these eclipses are about change. And, you know, we just had a lunar eclipse, and that was in Capricorn. So that's a kind of like a closure. You could say that's like the World card. But for you, it's like knowing when something is over and being able to let it go. And let it go very decisively, knowing that that you're loving yourself as you let it go, that you're doing something good for you. But really letting it go, not having this on again, off again situation. And the outcome, and this is interesting how they depict this card with the rainbow, is the Six of Wands, and this is a card that is connected to victory. And to me, because it's also connected to recognition, or, you know, other people giving you your due. To me, it's kind of like allowing yourself to accept that you are worthy, and waiting for that, knowing that it's there, that you know, anything that you want is there for you, even if it is unexpressed up until now. And Esther Hicks calls this vibrational escrow. And the point is that even if in this moment you have a string of bad relationships, Aries, and some of them may be kind of long term, and you feel that, especially if you're on the older side, you're not a kid anymore, maybe you're in your 40s, maybe you're in your 50s, and you've been there and done that, and you feel like, okay, it's, you know, if I haven't found my soulmate by now, it's not going to happen. Don't do that to yourself, because one of the things about interpreting tarot cards is that we go beyond just what the card says, but we also look at the particular depiction by the artist. And what do they have here? The rainbow. What does a rainbow suggest? You know, your hopes being realized. The pot at the end of the rainbow. And to me, it comes through honoring yourself and allowing others to love you, but people who love you for you. And so you have to be selective, Aries. And that means that you have to really take your time to get to know somebody. Aries is a very impatient sign, and you may kind of balk at having to wait and, you know, get to know somebody before you really take it to the next level. But I think that you will be richly rewarded if you kind of like develop patience and say, you know, if this is a real deal, it's going to be there for me. I don't have to like cut to the chase. I can take my sweet time, knowing that there's no deadline here. I feel that a lot of times people rush through things because it's really like in their mind that if they don't grab this person, somebody else will. Well, that's lack consciousness. It's a form of lack consciousness. Aries typically is very positive and into expansive belief system. But you may have your one Achilles heel, one area that you're very sensitive about. and that you tend to, be pessimistic about. And maybe for you, it's relationships. So if that's the case, then you need to change the pattern, because you may have noticed that things have not worked out when you have allowed yourself to be fear-based and stay with a relationship even though it's not satisfactory, simply because you're afraid that there won't be anything else that comes along that's better. Even if there isn't, even if you never were to meet anybody else, you would still be in a better position, because you would be true to yourself and you would say, I deserve to be appreciated. That's what, to me, the Six of Wands is really about, is about appreciation by others. This card can really have a work vibe in terms of your career, but I could see it easily with relationships. So I'm interpreting it in that vein. But success too comes from ending a cycle and knowing that you're entering the end of a cycle, and knowing that there's no way to go backwards, that it's a whole new day. Okay, Aries, that's what I have for you. If you'd like a private reading, I have all kinds, including love readings, and you can check me out at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below this video. Take care. Bye.